Once again, welcome back to Plot. Right, good afternoon everybody. Once again, welcome back to Plot. I know it's been quite a few weeks since I made the last video, but it's been horrendous. Apart from the weather, I've had a few computer problems. My main computer upstairs in the loft had a bit of a meltdown. I lost most of my programs, so I couldn't do any video editing. So I think I've had a bit of a break for the last couple of weeks trying to sort things out. Hopefully this week we'll get it sorted. Carl Owen from down in Norfolk is going to send us up a new video program, so hopefully we'll get the new base unit set up and get my computer set up and working again, and get the programs on that I need, and we'll do a bit of editing again. It must have been about 5 weeks now, but the weather the last couple of weeks was horrendous. This last week hasn't been too bad. We've got a couple of days of sunshine, but today we're back to normal again. Overcast. Not cold, but it's overcast, so I thought it was perfect time to get started seed sowing. I normally start around about the first week in August. Over the last couple of weeks I was doing the winter veg. I've done the winter cabbage. Sowed them a couple of weeks ago, as you know, and potted them up in nice size. They're in the greenhouses now, in the polytunnels. Next step is I sowed the spring cabbage, the Durham earlies, and the spring greens. They're in. So what we'll do when we get up the plot eventually this week, we'll get started on the potting off on that. The main thing is getting your compost right, and for seed sowing, quite simple. If you're just starting up, your basic mix, what I use is just multi-purpose compost, but I always break it down. I know it's supposed to be sand, but I always break it down out in a nice, really loose mixture. So I add perlite to mine, and I add sharp sand to mine, to me, just the basic one. And that way when you're sowing small seeds, you get no weeds going through. When you use my 3-2-1 mix, that's a different story altogether. It's not heat treated. I don't like to heat treat mine, because I like in amongst your compost, you've got good bacteria and bad bacteria. Now it's a good even mixture, so I like to leave them alone. I don't like to kill them off at all. I like to keep the compost as fresh and as organic as I can. So with 3-2-1 mixture, it's 3 pots. You can use any size pot you want. I'll go by the gallons or by the litres, whatever. I use 3 big pots, and I use 3 pots of my multi-purpose, my own homemade compost. I usually sieve it. I use a bread tray, put it through and get all the rough stuff out. And out of that I make 3 pots of that, 2 pots of just the multi-purpose compost, 1 pot of sharp sand, and a bit of perlite, and a couple of good handfuls of bone meal. Your bone meal's really important. It's a long-lasting fertilizer, so it stops in your pots. It's especially beneficial when you're doing potting off, and you're going to have your plants sitting in your pots for a couple of weeks or even a couple of months. So your compost is going to be well fed all the time. You don't have to put any extra feed to it. You don't have to overwater or feed anything. That bone meal will keep going and going until you plant them out into the garden. Fine. We're seed sowing this autumn time. There's me normal mixture. That's me multi-purpose compost with added perlite and added sharp sand. Now I fill the tray right at the top, as you know. Plenty of holes in the bottom, and what I like to do with mine, because I never water from above, I always water from down below. I sit the trays inside the trays and water, newspaper on the bottom, and I just let the compost take up their own water. And that's the idea of having multi-purpose compost, plenty of sharp sand, plenty of perlite. It's well drained, so it's going to soak it up, just acts like a sponge. It's absolutely fantastic. And of course, the old tools, bit of bamboo. And what I like to do, as you can see, put 3 furrows, just press it in your compost, press it in, make 3 furrows, and that way it's a good guide for your seed sowing. Now the seeds I've been sowing the last couple of weeks, the last few days is the Bellis Daisy they're up the plot now in one of the greenhouses. I'll shift into the melon house. The melon house got all the windows open and the doors wide open, so it's getting the fresh air from the polytunnels. It's not over hot, and if it does get too hot, I can shift them inside up to the top greenhouse where there's just mesh on the top of the roof. I did do that last year, but I had turned bad and I'd forgotten about the seedlings being in trays for a couple of weeks. And of course the trays, an inch and a half deep, and they were full of water, and of course all my bedding plants, all the seedlings were sitting in them. I lost a few trays, but I managed to save some of them, and that's one of the things I've got to remember this year. The pansy, I've sowed two full trays of pansies. The wallflowers, now you can sow your wallflowers in your garden if you want. It's quite an easy job to do. Make a long furrow, put your seeds in, and then once they come through, you can shift them around, dig them up, put them off into different stages in the garden, spread them out a bit until they grow on a nice strong plant, ready for September, October for planting out. I like to sow mine in trays, just as easy, and I can prick them out into pots, and then they'll go into either 9cm pots, ready for planting out this back end of the year, or you can overwinter them in a cool greenhouse in the polytunnels, wherever, cool frames, and then they're ready for spring sowing. Pop them off in springtime when it starts warming up a little bit, and you've got first class plants ready to go flower for the summer. Foxgloves, they'll go in now. Delphiniums, they'll go in now. And of course what I want to get in today is my Sweet William. Well, Sweet William are a must for the garden, especially for the scents. Absolutely marvellous. Now I've got a packet full of here. I like to open the little white packet that's inside and tip it into the main packet. Now we are seed packets here for anybody just starting up. They're a wealth of information. Gives you a way to sow, how to sow, it's just a basic guide. But you can't go wrong with them. And of course, what I always say, the most important thing is your seed count. And it gives you on the bottom of the packet. There was 500 seedlings in this one. 500 seeds you might think is a lot, but the way I sow mine, they're not. 3 furrows, so there's only going to be 100 and odd seed in each furrow. And the way I prick my plants off, when I'm pricking all my bedding off, apart from my dahlias, any really big seed, I like to prick mine off into tiny little bunches, 2s and 3s, like you do with lobelia. And that way you get a nice, really strong flower for planting out, plenty of blooms on. But, I've done it for years, and I find it a much easier way of sowing. The tray's been well watered, been soaked, it's been draining for half an hour now, and it's just next in now. Don't forget, when you're watering your trays down, always use fresh water. Now I've just brought this downstairs this morning from in the upstairs at home, filled it up and left it in here through the day to bring it up to temperature. It's nice fresh water. I never use water out the butts for watering seedlings. The main reason, it doesn't matter how old it is in the tank, it might only be a few days old, but the pathogens that build up is fantastic, especially with the heat that gets on them barrels. It's full of pathogens, mildews, molds, anything, and you're going to spread that on top of your nice clean compost. Within a couple of days you'll see a green algae growing across the top, and that's no way to start seedlings off. So always remember, get yourself a tap, fill your water can up and let it come up to temperature in your greenhouse before you use it. Nice fresh water, always use that. That's one of my main tips for good seed sowing. And of course, I've already sprayed along the furrows, chamomile tea. I've used it for years. Just soak your chamomile bag, a tea bag, in a litre of boiling water. Pour the boiling water in it, let it sleep for a few hours, and just let it cool down. Tip it into your litre spray, and then top up with cool water. Couple little drops of soapy water, and then spray it on. Fantastic. It gives it nice and clean. Put the seeds in, spray them again. Once it breaks surface, once it start coming through, spray them again, and it keeps them really nice and clean. Just an easy little tip, better than using all these chemicals and blah blah blah. Right, so I've got a pack of Sweet William, and all I like to do is just take my time. I can see them coming out on the blacks, A lot of seed now, different coloured white, they're not, sometimes they're a lot easier for sowing. But me, I can just take my time here. I know there's 500 seed in there. I can go along that furrow. Taking my time along that furrow. And then once again on the back furrow. Just gentle tapping. I'm watching the seeds rolling out. Put more left in there. And that middle one. A few left in that bottom corner. I would just want to make sure I get everything out. Could have been a little bit of moisture in the bottom of that packet, but I'll open the packet up just to make sure I get all them seeds out. Don't like to waste any. Just keep going between there, yeah, furrows. Yeah, I'll open that packet up because it looks like it's been a little bit of moisture in there. A lot of these packets now, they're you've got the little silver foil packets on the inside and they keep the seeds nice and dry. But as I say, if your paper packets are a little bit damp, then your seeds will stick to them, which are here. It could have been up my hands. Could have get a little bit of moisture up my hands, and that's allowing them seeds to stick. But job done anyway. So that's a Sweet William, and then it's an easy enough job. Go along, just along the furrows, a couple of handfuls. You have the same mix. And there we have it. A little bit more in that corner. Like I say, my seed trays are full up because I don't have to water from above. They'll go up, they'll sit in the tray, and I'll water the tray from underneath, and they'll just soak it up. And of course, all that needs now is a marker. I'll get the markers made out. Get my pen handy. Always have them at hand because you never know. And there we have it. Sweet William. Now travel done. As I say, I've got plenty of seeds to start sowing with. They'll go up the plot. It'll be too hot in here for them. They'll go up the plot on the barrow tomorrow. That's why I do a lot of seedlings, do a lot of sowing upstairs. Up on the plot, it just saves me taking stuff up and down in the barrow. But this afternoon I was going to think about going up there and start the sowing, but it's overcast, it's going to start raining. I might as well crack on down here and get a little bit of work done. Peppers growing away really nice. I've been spraying these weekly. Bit of Epsom salts. Once again, just fill your litre spray up in a teaspoonful of Epsom salts and spray all the leaves, and of course you get some absolutely first class fruits on them. And peppers are marvellous. But quite a few up the garden. I've got a few turning red here now, so these will not last much longer. Which in a way I'm pleased, because I want to strip this greenhouse out completely. Even my heat bed, that's going to be stripped down this year, cleaned down, repainted up, the wires checked, all the elements, because I haven't done it for about 2-3 years. It's been poorly the last couple of years, so I want to strip this down completely. All these cables are coming out, and I want to make sure everything's working properly before next year. I will start my heat off in end of December, just to begin with, because I'm going to sow some seed onions next year. I'm going to use one of my small tents. I'll have the little base heater, the little mat, and the small light in. So it's not going to cost it too much, but it's enough heat and it's enough light just to get started with the onions. And then I can follow on in the January, late January, and February with my first tomatoes. Now them Fantasia, I'll show you when we get up the plot. It's been absolutely marvellous. It's been a fantastic tomato. So what I'm going to do is, I've sent away for some seed of them, the Fantasia. There's only 10 seed in the packet, but what I'll do is I'll set a few away early in here in the tent, and by March time you get a nice really strong plant. Throwing all them side shoots out. I'll take all them side shoots off and I'll root them, so I can end up with about 30 or 40 plants free. Now when you're taking side shoots from a plant, it'll come true to seed. whereas you cannot save the seed from an F1 variety, which is the Fantasia. They are. So what I'll do, I'll take the side shoots off and they'll come true to the parent, and they'll be in exactly the same as what the parents. They've been marvellous up there. I've had some great tomatoes up, really nice in a strange shape. They've got like a bell end, like a hard shape to the bottom of it. It's and a really tasty, lovely, sweet tomato. And of course they look good, they're a nice size, so you know, that's all I want. My main crop tomatoes, money maker, they're doing marvellous. I've got the Alicante, I've got Ailsa Craig, I've got the golden, small golden cherry. They've been cropping marvellous, fantastic. A lot of people like them. I had a couple of Black Russian. They're alright. It's not to me liking. I've got the plants given, so I thought I'd try them. And just one of them things I'll go back to my other one, Gardener's Delight. I've grew that for years, and unfortunately I never grew it this year. I grew the little orange cherry in its place. But I think Gardener's Delight takes some beating, so I'm going to go back to growing them, and then that's my 5 varieties for next year. I'll be quite happy with that. But in the meantime, I'm going to crack on my seed sowing, get used done, and then what we'll do is next week, when I get this computer sorted out, we'll get up there and we'll get cracking with these cabbages. As you see, I've got the Durham Early in, I've got the Wheeler's Imperial in. That's a nice early one. It's a leafy cabbage, but it can't, if you leave it, it will heart up. A nice pointed one. And I usually, for loose leaf, you can cut them really early in the season, and you get a marvellous cabbage out of them. So that's a Wheeler's Imperial, a Durham Early. They're growing away really well. So 3-2-1 mixture. We'll start that off. Up the plot on the next video. We'll start potting them up, and I'll show you around the tunnel what the tomatoes have been like. We haven't getting a great deal done out in the garden this year. It's been hitty messy. We've been promised a load of timber in the next week or two, so I've got about 3 years worth of maintenance to catch up on. So I've got holes in the floor, I've got fences falling down, I've got huts to repair, I've got doors sliding, you name it. We've got it going up there, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks that's what we'll do. We'll get some timber up there and just spend a few hours just doing some general maintenance and getting the place tidied up. And that's all we can do. As I say, we're in August now. Not far away the dark night, so I can see it turning around about 9 o'clock every night time now. Whereas a couple of weeks ago it was 11 o'clock. But the garden's been nice. What I am doing this year, I'm overhauling Anne's garden. That's the missus' garden here, all the flower. It's nearly all perennials, but it's been growing wild this year. So I'm going to completely strip it this year. I'll do a couple of videos in the autumn of that. I'll dig up most of the stuff I'm keeping, like the foxgloves. I've got the Xanthidescias up there. I've got red hot pokers, they're coming out, and it'll just be dug up. Delphiniums, definitely, I'll be saving them. But what I'll do is I'll dig a lot of the plants out and I'll put them out the back there in pots with compost around them and just keep them nice and moist. And then come the autumn time, I've got the roses to dig up and replant. I'll cut them right back hard, and then the whole bed will be empty. So I'm going to really try and get it turned over, double dig it if I have to. It's never been done. We've been here 14 years now in the flat, and all I've done each year, every individual year, is to muck it, just lightly turn it over. So what I want to get right down. There is some plants that I'm going to remove. Lily of the Valley for one, because it's been sending runners here, there and everywhere, so I'm going to try and dig it out altogether. And then what I'll do is I'll replant, I'll remuck. I've got a big bag of compost, a builder's bag full of compost in the back there. The whole bag will go into there, lift the soil right up, and then a couple of good handfuls of bone meal, and then it'll be really fresh for planting in. We'll get all our perennials planted back in, and hopefully next spring I've got a big bag of daffodil bulbs to go in. I've got some lily bulbs to go in, and hopefully we'll get a first class show for next spring. But I'll probably insert a few little tips on that when we get started. It'll not be till September. I want to just let the plants start dying down for a bit. I've got some irises here. I'm going to dig the whole plot of iris up, because what's been growing in amongst them is weeds, dockings and whatnot. So I'm going to dig the whole plot of iris up. I'm going to split them. If I do that next week, I'll insert that into the video, and there's a way of digging them up and planting them. You don't want to bury the rhizomes at all. You want to just keep them on the top. So what we'll do, we'll probably dig them up next week, and I'll start the video off down here. Dig them up. The other plants, the daisies and whatnot, we can dig up and repot them. So I might. Well, it's all work in hand. It's just trying to judge what we need to do first. I've got that much on at the moment, but that's gardening for you. You know, you can't. You just got to keep plodding on, bit each day. But that's my tips anyway on my seed zone. I could spend another hour down here this afternoon seed zone, but clouds are cutting in. It's Sunday night. I want to get myself upstairs, watch Country File, and hopefully by the morning, if I get this video program that's getting sent up from Carl, I'll get this online tomorrow night. And as I say, probably a few people missing. I hope you've been missing us anyway. As I say, we've had that much bother the last couple of weeks. Fortnight ago, we had the real bad weather. We had the rain, we had the winds. It was freezing cold. I've never known in July like it. Been absolutely horrendous. And then, of course, this last fortnight, I've had the computer problems. I sent it away. I got myself a brand new base unit, and it's got Windows 11 done. Now, if you're like me, one of the old ones, if you used to Windows 7, or even later on, going farther back to Millennium and whatnot, the programs we used to use years ago. But it's Windows 11 based on the new base unit I've gotten. So that's going to take us a bit getting used to fiddling around. And then I've got a few programs to add onto it, and hopefully one of them will be me editing program that I do with the videos. So we'll get that sorted. Hopefully it'll all work out, and then I'll be back online. But for the time being, you know I am. I'm still on my Facebook page. If you want to contact me, get in touch with through the Facebook page. It's Jeff Foreman on the plot. You know that. We're a private group now. We had to change it last year because we had that many spammers on. So we're a private group. If you want to join me, just get in touch with it through our Facebook, and we'll sign you up. But that's it for now. Compost's done. When we get at the plot, we'll start on the cabbages, and I'll go through the 3-2-1 mix again with you, because we've used that I must have used it for 20 years now, and I've never had a problem with it. Just one other little tip: when you do your 3-2-1 mix, and you put it through a sieve, this is what you'll end up with. Just all the little bits of roughage in it. And what I do with that, I put a layer on the bottom of the tray first, and it's ideal drainage, first class. So nothing goes to waste. So that's it. That's the seedlings in. But as I say, we'll get at the plot. We'll finish this video off, and then hopefully online we can get it posted. And I'll see you all again. Maybe it's a week's time, and we'll get started on some of these perennials outside. Most of the stuff down here was grown from seed. So as I say, if you want to start sowing now, get them in. It's the easiest way of growing plants, and it's the cheapest way of growing plants. And once you get them up, get them growing, get them potted off, as long as you've got somewhere nice and cool over the winter to shade them, you'll have some first class plants for next year. And you can fill your garden with cheap plants. And that's what it's all about. Okay, so what you are doing, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.